Welcome folks to a different sort of Canadian computer collector thing today. No, I will not be taking off my shirt and painting a happy face on my gut, but what I will be doing is taking apart the Eureka upright vacuum that I have used not just on my floors for many years, but also to clean out the myriad computers that exist in my collection. I couldn't find anything online on how to do this myself, so this is stuff that I've just sort of picked up by taking it apart over the years. So follow along, if you will, as we clean this thing and put it back together so it can clean sweet love for the rest of its life. Anyway, here we go. First thing you want to do is unwind the power cable and then unclip the hose from where it connects to the vacuum. You can do this by pulling on the tabs that you see right on the sides there, and it should come off without any issues. Next, loosen the screw in the middle of the handle portion of the vacuum and remove the two plastic pieces it holds in place. After that, you can take the canister off and remove the filter brace by pulling on the top tab and then away from the machine. I threw my old filters right into the garbage and bought some cheap replacements on Amazon, and they seem to be doing a fine job. Next up, it was time to unscrew the shield at the base of where the canister is held. This plastic piece came off pretty easy with a little bit of shimmying. You may have to wiggle it around a little. That's what he said. That's what she said. That's what they all said. After that, up at the top, I turned the dial where the canister is held in place and lifted it off the vacuum. This revealed two more screws to undo. And then using some needle nose pliers, you can grip the internal clamps and press them together while pushing to remove the back piece that holds the hose in place. And with that off, the top handle can slide off clean, as well as these cylinder plugs, whatever they're called. After that, you may notice I swung around the vacuum and undid two more screws, but ended up missing one right at the back, so there's actually three total. Then you can pull this piece off. These little rings slip off using a screwdriver. With them out of the way, you can slide off the tower assembly, as I'm gonna refer to it. You can also slide this little piece off using a screwdriver to press the tabs in. Heading back to the base, I removed the power switch and unclipped the cable running to it, then gave it a spray with compressed air. Problem was though, the dirt was too compacted to really make a difference, so it'll need a wipe down. With everything apart, it's time to tackle that floor piece. But we're not going to go too deep into it, so 4 screws around the sides let us remove the top plate and have a look inside. With that out of the way, I decided to do a wipe down of the unit. You can keep pulling it apart if you want to. I didn't want to mess with it too much at the time and figured this is probably the best way to avoid any risk of ruining it. Once I finished wiping it down, I made sure to wash each other piece with soap and water in my sink, and then I laid them all out to dry. And once the water had faded away, reassembly could take place. Starting at the base, I put the top plate right back on it. After that, I reattached the power switch connector and screwed everything back down. 4 screws for the plate and 3 for the bracket holding the power switch. And then this is an important part. I put back on the hose holder or catch or whatever you want to call it. It's integral that you put it back on before everything is already assembled because it can't go on easily otherwise. Last time I took this thing apart, I forgot to put it back on and the big, long, hard piece at the end of the hose kept waving around and hitting me in the legs when I would vacuum. That's right. With it all ready to roll, I placed the center frame back onto the vacuum and clipped it in using these little things we popped out during disassembly. I forgot that one of the clips had to run underneath the big, long, hard hose holder, so there was a little flipping back and forth for me. Next up, I attached the primary hose holding piece back in place. This one is simply a pressure fit using clips. Hose plugs go back in. Then I made the error of reattaching the upper hose holding unit too early. Just hold off on this for now and you'll see why. In the meantime, you can put the front fairing back in place with a little finagling. 2 screws hold it nice and snug. I then placed the new filter into the filter zone and clip the filter brace back in place. While we're replacing filters, I also decided to replace the canister filter, ensuring clean airflow for at least a couple of its first uses. Canister's easy enough to work with, so I didn't include too much about its disassembly in the beginning, but it also got cleaned out. Top handle goes back on, and you might remember I'd already placed this upper hose holding piece back on. Well, I removed it, so I could fit the handle back on as its clips hold both pieces onto the vacuum. Next up, we're going to add our hose back and snap it into place. I added the upper canister bracket to the front. It's now time to add the extra hose and cable bracket behind the handle and screw it all down with a single screw. And lastly, whip out your long hard hose piece and attach it to the end of the hose. You know, we don't love them hose.
You know we don't love them hoes.
Plug it in, give it a test, and if all goes well, you are done. I'd also like to give our patrons a big old shout out because they are such hardworking, sexually attractive individuals who really put everything on the line. They're out there slinging hot sex 24/7. Anyway, we love you guys. Thank you so much for supporting the channel. And if you're interested in checking out our computer-related content,
click on one of these babies.